Hello and welcome to this session of doing the 5 minute call on the way to getting an interview call for the role that you want. My name is Arun Singhal and I'm your coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in talent development. So let's look at what are we going to do in this module. We have come up a long way in the 7 step process. We started with identifying our strengths. Then we identified a couple of suitable roles. We looked at how to generate a list of companies. We looked at developing a value proposition. And then we said, how do we reach out to the companies to get a 5 minute call? And we have got a call now. So the question is, how do we do this call? So purpose of this module is to give you an in-depth understanding of how can you do that 5 minute call, which you've been lucky to get. Very few people get that kind of a thing on the way to get your call for the interview that you want. At the end of this module, what you will know is how to understand. First, you will understand why is it important to do this 5 minute call well. Second, then we will look at what is it that we do today. What is our current process of doing this 5 minute call? What exactly do we do in that? Then I'll tell you about what's the best way. What is the recommended practice for doing this call so well that you have a greater chance of being called for an interview for a role that you want. And finally, we will look at what does this 5 minute call could look like to you and for the recruiter. All right, ready for the day? Great, wonderful. So why should we do the 5 minute call well? Frankly, in my mind, doing the 5 minute call is the only way to getting an interview call for in this process. In this process, there is no JD that has been floated, so you can't apply directly. You are proactively reaching out to the people in the company that you are targeted with the name of being an early bird. And if you apply the same rule that most of us do of trying to sell a candidature, we're going to completely fail. So, what is important that we've been lucky to get this 5 minute call? We need to do it so well that we can take it forward to convert into an interview call. Let's understand again that you get an opportunity to do an interview call for a role that you want with the recruiter only if two conditions are met. One, whether the recruiter, the person that you're talking to, likes you. Second thing, they see you having something that they're looking for, essentially. They may be looking for a person who has the capabilities, as we were talking about, to debug the softwares, test the softwares, and help the company roll out faster new product developments. And if that's what they're looking for, and that's what you have communicated value proposition, there's a good chance that you will go through this. So, as I had mentioned in the last module, also getting the 5 minute call is like throwing a pulling line to the ship that you want to bring to the harbor. If a ship is outside and doesn't have its own engine or own power, and you need to pull into harbor, you need to throw a line. And this is like 5 minute call is that lifeline. And doing the call is with pulling that line, the ship with that line with all your might to get into the harbor. Do you get this? So it's a two-step process. If the role that you want to come home to you, first you need to pull that line of a 5 minute call, and then you need to do it so well that the recruiter likes you and says, hey, I see a promise in this character, this guy, the girl that I'm talking to. And let me keep this conversation live and going, and let me see how can I give this person who I like and who seem to have what I need a interview call. And if you don't do this call well, the process ends here in that company, period. You will not even hear from them. So what do we do today? Let's look at how do we do this 5 minute call well to get the interview call later. Think about it, reflect, note it down on a piece of paper, and let's tally our notes quickly. All right? Okay. So, as we looked at earlier, also, most of us don't do the 5 minute call at all. We don't even have an idea of this. Most of us jump to selling our candidatures to the recruiter. Hey, ma'am, I'm good software developer. I would like to work in your company. This is a great company. Please hire me. Please hire me. Please hire me. And that shuts off the recruiter and you get extremely poor response. You apply in 10 places, you send that request. If you get a call, if you get a chance to talk to them and say, yeah, Arun, we will come back to you at some point of time. Because ultimately, what happens is recruiters are also human beings, right? And if they like you, they're going to continue talking to you. And if they don't like you, if they get put off, they're going to say, yeah, this guy is a little, pain in the air. So I'm going to shut him off completely. They will also like to work with people. All of us, there's a word called empathy. All of us like people who are empathetic to us, who understand what we are looking for rather than thinking about themselves. So if you try and understand their need, if you don't try and understand their need, they were going to shut this off. So doing this entire thing without consideration of the recruiter, directly jumping and selling a candidature is a complete recipe for disaster. So that's where this process ends actually. So the question in your mind, in my mind is, so, okay, how should we do it then, sir? Ma'am, tell us the right way. Right. Let's look at how to do this call well. And it is a long, patient process. So once you get a positive response to your reach out request and you get that 5-minute call, you need to schedule an audio or video call or a personal meeting as per the preference of the recruiter. Please understand, as per the preference of the recruiter. Hey, ma'am, sir, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to call on you, meet you. So can you please tell me, how would you like to connect? Should we connect on audio? Should we connect on video? What time? What day? Where would you like to meet? In fact, there are cases where people say, hey, sir, you tell me, where would you like to come? I'm okay. And there's a famous case of a person trying to sell insurances in US. And he was talking to someone. And he said, hey, sir, tell me, when can I come? I'm happy to come anywhere you like. He said, yeah, I'm kind of very busy. Why didn't you meet me at that station on the suburban train? And he got into that train, talked to him for 15 minutes, and converted that deal into a business. So you need to understand that we need to go as per the preference of recruiter, because a recruiter is a busy person, right? And he or she may not have the time and limitlessly to give you as per your preference. So you need to go as per their preferences. Obviously, the second step then is to go out and call the recruiter at the scheduled time. Introduce yourself very briefly. Please understand, brevity, shortness is important. And you need to start by saying, hey, ma'am, sir, is it a good time to talk? It's possible that while the recruiter has given you the time to talk on an audio, video call, or in person, but something else may have come up. And it's good for you to clarify this. Hey, is this still a good time to talk? Once it is confirmed that it's a good time to talk, begin by thanking him. That's a part of process of building the rapport. Begin by thanking him or her for the time provided and say, it's wonderful, how great is it to connect with them. There's no substitute for genuine praise in building rapport. Dale Carnegie talked about in 1940s. That's a wonderful book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. A lot of what I'm saying here is influenced by that. So confirm the time, begin by thanking him for the time, him or her for the time provided, and say how great or wonderful is it to connect with them. Keep a smile on the face. Smile is a wonderful thing, and stay confident. A smile is infectious. It builds the positive response. Let's understand, what are we looking for in this call? You're looking for a positive response, right? You're looking for a good outcome. So can you good outcome with a frowning face and lack of confidence? Obviously not. So you need to stay confident. And even on a phone, your smile goes through. Try this. Next, restate your understanding of the needs and ask him or her to provide more details. Hey, ma'am, I understand that your company is maybe looking for a software testing professional. Ma'am, can you tell me a little more about that? Don't offer your candidature. Understand the need. So you've built the rapport, you've thanked her, you said how good it's to connect, and now you're saying, hey, ma'am, let me see how can I help you. Let me understand, what are you looking for? She will allow her to talk. Don't interrupt. And if there's a silence between him or her responding, bear with that. The silence means he or she is thinking and he or she is going to respond to you. Once she responds and you listen carefully, ask clarifying and probing questions. So is this what you're looking for, man? Is this what you're looking for? Is this, can you tell me more about it? So these are kind of questions that you can ask to fully understand the needs about the position, locations, and timing. When do you think this job will come up, ma'am, etc., etc. Sir, don't even talk about a word about the compensation. That's the last thing that you would like to talk about. Keep smiling. Remember, keep thanking for the details he or she has provided. Add appropriately appreciative words like great, wonderful. These are two powerful words that can build your rapport with the recruiter or any person for that matter when said genuinely. Fake things get caught on very end. You can get badly slapped back for being fake. The objective by now should be to get liked by the recruiter by being a pleasant, confident, and appreciative person. And if you do all the what I've been telling you above, the recruiter will start thinking in his mind that hey, I think I'm talking to a guy who's pleasant, nice, who's confident. He or she seemed to have what I'm looking for, and is appreciative. He keeps on thanking me, telling me. Then you offer your other reason why you could be the right candidate using the strength that you listed. Then you can now you know what he or she is looking for. Using those insights of what he or she may be looking for, you could say, "Hey, ma'am, I think I might be the right candidate for you." And if you are not, say, "Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much knowing it. I had thought that I may be able to, or maybe the right candidate, but let me look out for a person who could be right for you and offer some help to you." Close the call by asking how he or she would like to move forward and ask when and how you should get in touch with him or her again. That's a way of discussing, agreeing on what should be the way forward. So that's the entire process. So what you see in this doing the call is we are trying to build the rapport by being appreciative, confident, smiling. We are asking what he or she may need it, what her needs are for recruitment, and we are asking clarification questions. And if we seem to be the right person, we say, "Ma'am, I would also like to get considered for this. Can you give me an opportunity and tell me how should and when should I contact you again to take this forward?" You're not being pushy at all. So, what could this 5-minute call look like? So, if you're talking to a recruiter, the photograph on your slide could indicate similarly a pleasant smile if it comes from the other person. If the other person on the starts laughing, smiling, saying, "Hey, that's good, thank you," and start reciprocating to your gestures, you know your call is going well. And this is a cold calling technique that gets you the sale conversion faster, and you are selling yourself here for an interview call. So let's summarize and look at what did we learn in this module. We learned that most of us directly jump to selling a candidature by selling the CV and following up for an interview call. We are impatient to get an interview call and even to get a job. And we find that that's not effective process because it puts off the recruiter. We need to consider doing the 5-minute call that will build quick rapport, understand the requirements, and find an agreement to how to move forward. And we now know how could a good 5-minute call look like. If we do a 5-minute call well, we will find the recruiter reciprocating back in the spirit of the Newton's third law. A good reaction will have a good reaction back to you. So what do we do next? We have now completed the 6 steps. We are in the last process of follow-up. That's what we will cover in the next module. And from there we will take, that should help you to get into an interview call with your recruiter. So thank you again for watching this video of how to do your 5 minutes call well in an attempt to get a call for interview that you want. Look forward to seeing you again, and thank you so much again. Bye for now.